Hi, I'm Ashley Swartz, founder of Furious Minds. Welcome to our new office space in Midtown Manhattan at WeWorks. This is my weekly segment for Beat on online video and advertising technology, and I would love for these segments to become more of a conversation. So check it out. Please hang around for the next 5 minutes, listen to what I have to say, and let me know what you think, or give me a suggestion on what we should talk about next week. Email me at ashley@furious-minds.com and let me know what I should be talking about next. So we usually talk about video, and I wanted to talk this week about a press release I found on Monday that was announced that GoPro had become Tremor Video's first customer to actually do a campaign across all 4 screens. This, of course, drew my attention. Started reading it, dug a little deeper. I noticed that Tremor's actually split out tablet from mobile, which I thought was quite interesting. And when you add to that connected TV and online, it becomes a 4-screen proposition. So this piqued my curiosity to keep on reading. And actually what caught my attention the most was not necessarily the fact that we're talking about differentiating screens by virtue of their actual delivery mechanism, but that GoPro is using 15-second versions of their TV spots for this campaign across multiple screens of their sort of UNHD campaign that's been used to highlight some of their events like the X Games. And it led me to question as to whether or not we're really ever going to see a hockey stick in online video, and if that brands are actually going to derive the value that they want to and they expect to, given the proliferation of consumption and the voracious appetite of audiences, if they don't invest in creative. So if we rewind back to sort of Hulu, which was really the first purest premium online video network because they were basically repurposing in the first IP channel for prime time television, and all we saw there on the first runs of advertisers were nothing more than rerunning their 30-second spots through an online channel. This really didn't evoke a lot of higher interaction rates. We didn't see incredible engagement. It all of a sudden now was an impression-based buy per se versus a GRP buy on TV, but they really weren't seeing the performance of the media and the channel as well as they had hoped, given what digital had delivered them historically. Fast forward, we've got video networks now. We've added connected television, which I've always been very bullish about connected TV because the way that we presented it to clients when I was running an ITV practice was it's your way to get on television without ever buying television, which meant the cost of entry was much less because you were buying inventory on a per CPM basis in lieu of a GRP basis. That being said, what happened is when we first started buying connected TV, and it was sold and offered by the video ad networks, when the OEM numbers became substantive enough to sell as a network proposition, nobody bought it. It wasn't interesting enough. The audiences weren't substantial. We had 1,000 reasons why it wasn't worth it. It wasn't an approved medium. So what happened is, fast forward 6 months later to sort of early 2012, you saw the video ad networks actually start to sell it as a 3-screen proposition. So no longer do you buy connected television, mobile, online video, you just buy video. And I'm wondering if we don't ever actually tap into the channel itself and the fact that, for example, a tablet is a medium consumption device and a mobile is more of a utility device, if we don't tap into the usage paradigm and the man-machine interfaces with which consumers are using this hardware, will we ever really extract the value we can for advertisers? That being said, if the investment is never made by brands and agencies to actually realize the potential of each of these devices by virtue of how consumers are using them differently to interact and engage, and in particular, how they're using those devices and when in the purchase cycle, we're never going to see ROI that drives to measurable outcomes, which is the promise of video when it compares to television. I'm wondering how the industry itself takes ownership in this. We're finding, if you look at venture capital and where dollars are flowing now and startups and entrepreneurs, there's an incredible amount of innovation occurring in new emerging video format, video delivery mechanisms, in ad distribution, as well as then on the back end for real-time buying and selling and being able to actually activate video inventory faster. If brands don't actually ever do anything to make this medium more valuable by virtue of investing more heavily in creative and using data and information to sequence across multiple channels and multiple platforms with different messages based on where the consumer is in their value chain, are they going to get any return from it? I don't think so. And so what I'm suggesting is that if we want to see a huge impact and improvement in video performance for the industry, we need to start looking at how these channels are being used in combination with other. A multi-platform strategy or multi-channel strategy for video is not as simple as placing one piece of creative across multiple pieces of hardware in one buy. Even when you start to add interaction to it, if you're still using the base creative and the messaging isn't changing to solicit or elicit a different response from an audience or a member or a viewer, we're not going to see a difference in performance because the basis of measurement hasn't changed at all. I'm not sure how to tackle the problem, but I do believe that the creative and the creative process has to also change in line with how we're making decisions on where to invest our media dollars for video. And all in all, we need to identify different engagement opportunities for consumers and audiences depending on the hardware to where it's delivered and the time and the place they are in the purchase cycle or how they're engaging with the content and their willingness to engage. I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter. Please email me at ashley@furious-minds.com. Give me your thoughts or tell me what we should be talking about next week. Have a great week.